Hi, this is part 2. I got cut off. This is why you need to get a phone where you've got enough storage space. My iCloud or whatever you call it, no space. So yeah, that's my homework. Okay, I'm just going to go over quickly what I said. Ecclesiastes 4 verse 12, the one about the 3 strands are better than one. And if one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not easily broken. So this is going back a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago. I am part of a Bible study group that discussed this sort of similar topic, which I thought at the time was timely. I'd arrived home from work after doing some grocery shopping, and was rushing to get dinner done because this Bible study starts at like 7 o'clock, and so I only get home around 5:30 usually. I've got like a 9 to 5 admin job. Anyway, so I'm like rushing, and hubby's sort of helping. Had fed the boys, then I had to get them ready. And I think that was a day he was helping out at church for something else. So sometimes we've not gone together because he's volunteering, which is fine. But it's like, oh, I have to bring the boys on my own and manage them. When I say manage, it's just that they're so active, hyper, which is great. But when it's been a long day, you're like, ah. So I have to be honest, I wasn't looking forward to fellowship or Bible study. No, I just wanted to stay at home and rest. I wanted to change my mind. And I'll be honest, this has happened sometimes. But in this instance, I went. And yeah, it can be tricky, but somehow I actually managed. I had fun. It's like those things, sometimes you're invited to a party. For me, I'm an introvert, so I tend to be probably more chatty with people close to me. They know me and I know them. But when it's larger groups of people, or sometimes it just takes me time to get to know people and open up a bit. But it's such an effort, and it can be a bit draining personally for me and other extroverts when they're around people. And that sounds sort of terrible, but we're the opposite of extroverts who kind of tend to, I shouldn't say feed off people, but they're energized when they're around lots of people. So in saying this, while I say, oh, church is fun and all this, and you learn things, sometimes it's like any other social situation for me. I find like, get me out of here. And I'm like the opposite of my husband, who is the typical extrovert, loves lots of people and things. And I do love people, but I love my time out too, and my rest and my me time, which sounds a bit selfish, but we're all created differently. Anyway, I digress. I actually managed, and sometimes you have to go through things to get to the other side. Like in the end, as I said, I ended up feeling like I was glad I went, and I got so much from it: fellowship and friendship, and sometimes there's like lots of nice good food as well. So basically I went from being a grumpy little mama to a happy chappy. And I'm trying to use one hand to get my paper together. Alright, this is coming to a wrap, part 2. So I wouldn't have necessarily achieved that on my own. This will sound cheesy, but it's true. So I'm glad to be part of church family. But more importantly, I'm glad to be part of God's family. Yeah, it is cheesy. Why did I write that? But anyway, it's about growing together, learning together. Yeah, it's just such a blessing. And it's a bit like school. It's not to say your kids can't learn from being homeschooled, or, when there's just one teacher and a pupil, a student. What's that scenario? Tutoring. There's value in that. But how much more can they learn by like watching others and interacting with others? And that's much like us, I think, in the church. But we can be self-taught and do different things on our own. But it's so much easier, I think, when you're learning along the way with others. And so that's all I wanted to talk about today. And I'll see you next time on Coffee Break Time with God. Actually, just before I phase out, phase out. Like I've got good technology to phase out. I'm still working on my technology. Here are a few of my favorite things. Well, one of them. I'm recently sort of trying to be healthy and trying. I am healthy. You got to be positive. And I got this awesome bottle. I like online shopping now. Well, shouldn't do it too much because otherwise you just spend. But it's like a time marker bottle. It's so cute. And my favorite color, blue. So yeah, it's actually back to front on here. But yeah, I aim for 2 liters a day. Does it happen? No. So this is meant to help me to be healthier, drink more water. But basically, it suggests, but you can start earlier. I actually started really early today. 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. It keeps going down. Then by 1 p.m., you should finish and then refill and then just keep going on. And I have to say I add lemon to my water because I find it's really hard to stick to drinking water, especially as autumn is coming where we are. But anyway, I'll see you next time on Coffee Break Time with God. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.